Thank you very much, our chairman for this morning's proceedings and the joint chairperson, one of our students from our secondary schools, Naprima Girls High School. My cabinet colleagues who are here with us this morning, Dr. the Honorable Tim Gopi Singh, Minister of Education, the Honorable Andel Roberts, Minister of Sport, and Mrs. Roberts, the Honorable Prakash Ramada, Minister of Legal Affairs. Permanent secretaries who are here with us from both Ministries of Education and the Ministry of Tertiary Education and Skills Training, CEO of the Ministry of Education and other senior staff of the ministry. May I also at this stage pay up a very special warm welcome, and I want to ask you to give her and her family a warm, heartfelt Trini welcome. Malala. Malala, we don't know if you like the cascadoo, the fish, but we will hope that you will have a taste of it, because it is our saying that when you eat the cascadoo, you will certainly return to Trinidad and Tobago. Members of her family, her father Ziauddin Yusufzai, her mother, her brothers, and her very close colleague, Shahida, may also recognize members of the delegation of the Malala Fund, Mr. Easton Jordan, who is the Director of Operations and Communication. And ladies and gentlemen, we are very proud to have attached to that fund as well the Vice President of Google, Mrs. Megan Smith. Could you give them a round of applause? Mr. Curtis Manchun, the Chairman of the Board of Governors of the University of Trinidad and Tobago and members of the board of UTT. Dr. Fazal Ali, who is the Provost of UTT and also acting as President of the University. Mr. Kelvin Mahabir, Chairman of the National Training Agency. Mr. Steve Arman, the CEO of the NTA. Specially invited guests, and may I also pay a special tribute to all our principals, our school supervisors, our teachers, and particularly our students who have come out during the vacation time. I want to say how very grateful I am, and Dr. Gopi Singh. Members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, you would have heard a little bit from the chairman about my interest in finding Malala. And I'm sure you're going to hear a very interesting story when she speaks this morning. But I recall in January of this year, when I visited their home in Birmingham, and I did say to Malala and her father that I'll be very honored to invite you, and if you will accept our invitation to come to Trinidad and Tobago. And her response was, Minister, the honor is not yours, the honor is mine. And we thank you for accepting our invitation. Our Honorable Prime Minister, Mrs. Kamla Persad Bissessa, and the Cabinet and the Government of Trinidad and Tobago has been extremely supportive of this initiative. Our Honorable Prime Minister, who would have served previously as Minister of Education, and who would have had a great interest in developing not only girls but boys and education generally. She is very delighted to have Malala with us in Trinidad and Tobago. But as we speak today with you, and very briefly, today forms part of UTT's 10th anniversary celebrations, our only national university that is involved in higher education, training, entrepreneurship, academic, technical, and vocational education and training. It presents an opportunity for upward mobility, for lifelong learning, and as we are always reminded that education is the passport from poverty to prosperity. It inculcates self-worth, self-esteem, value, and worthwhile citizens. And for me, as minister, I'm particularly pleased to say to you that we can boast of a high level of education and literacy and numeracy in Trinidad and Tobago. Together with my minister, Dr. Gopi Singh, both our ministries have made significant impacts on the education landscape. To the extent where this knowledge-driven society is done so by the passion of individuals, by the access and opportunity such as we would have moved the participation rate in the tertiary sector from 42% in 2010 to at the end of 2013, we have reached 57% on our way to target accomplishment of 60% in the tertiary sector by May 2015. I give you the assurance that we will meet it and exceed it. So it's an education system that is driven by access, opportunity, technology, and how we use technology, and how we improve that in terms of creativity and innovation, and how we build a competitive society. And therefore, this was one of my deep yearning to have Malala come right to Trinidad and Tobago to our shores. And I just want to, as I end, quote from her letter published in the Washington Post. And she said, "I know education is what separates a girl who is trapped in a cycle of poverty, fear, and violence from one with a chance of a better future." I want to say how very deeply honored we are to have you here, Malala. I'm sure not only us in this present auditorium looks forward to hearing from you, but the national community. And I end with a quotation from her book, I Am Malala, which says, "It will make you believe in the power of one person's voice to inspire and change in the world." Welcome, and I thank you.
Thank you, Senator, the Honorable Fazal Karim, for your words of inspiration this morning. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Joel Kisoon, and it is my pleasure to introduce our next speaker. When he was approached to be a part of this event, he agreed without any hesitation. He dedicated his time, his resources, as well as provided support throughout the entire planning and execution of this event. He vowed to give as many students as possible the opportunity to be a part of this wonderful experience, giving each student the chance to meet Malala and be truly inspired by the real hero that she is. Ladies and gentlemen, I ask you to warmly welcome our Minister of Education, Dr. the Honorable Tim Gopi Singh.
My distinguished colleague, Senator, the Honorable Fazal Karim, Minister of Tertiary Education and Skills Training, our cabinet colleagues, Minister Prakash Ramada, Minister of Legal Affairs, and Minister Anil Roberts, Minister of Sports, and Mrs. Roberts, our distinguished hostess, distinguished visitor, Malala, and members of her lovely family, all other distinguished visitors, our principals, school supervisors, our students who have come out from their holiday period to be here with us this morning, our honorable distinguished permanent secretaries from both ministries of tertiary education and Ministry of Education, the Chief Education Officer, Mr. Harilal Sicharan, members of the media, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. A very pleasant good morning to one and all. It is with immense honor, privilege, and a deep sense of gratitude that I share this moment with so many of our nation's children and with all of you. A moment of history in our country when the girl who stood tall and brave for the sake of an education, the amazing Malala Yousafzai, joins us here this morning. Since 2009, at the tender age of 12 years young, she began her campaign for education of girls in the dangerous Swat Valley, or Swat territory, of her homeland in Pakistan, fighting the might of the Taliban organization. And by 2012, as you all may know, she was injured and left for dead by the Taliban. But heroes as rare, precious, and inspiring as Malala can never be kept down. And after she underwent long, tough surgery and recovery, she, with the consistent love, support, and strength of her parents and siblings and her family, and all those involved in her care, launched a global awareness campaign for the need for education of children, and most important, of girls and women throughout the world, and especially in countries like Pakistan, where extremist groups have sought to ban this basic right of a child, the right to an education, banned by the extremist groups. Today, at age 17, Malala stands as one of the world's most famous decorated teenagers because of her courageous stance, and she has been nominated twice for a Nobel Peace Prize, along with accolades of every type. My dear students here this morning with us today, I hope you realize and appreciate how tremendously privileged you are being here in this audience this morning, to be in the actual presence of one of history's most courageous and inspiring figures. Malala, who dared to stand up and sacrifice her life for the sake of every single child, girl, to get an education, once said that instead of violence and weapons, it is better, and I quote Malala, and I quote, to pick up your books, our books and our pens. They are the most powerful weapons. One child, one teacher, one book, one pen can change the world, close quote. Malala, who was warned by the Taliban that if she persisted in going to school and speaking up about the rights of girls to get an education, she would be killed. She responded, and I quote her again, I quote, I started thinking about that, and I used to think that the Talib would come and he would just kill me. But then I said, if he comes, what would you do, Malala? Then I would reply to myself, Malala, just take a shoe and hit him. But then I said, if you hit a Talib with your shoe, then there would be no difference between you and the Talib. You must not treat others with cruelty, and that much harshly. You must fight others, but through peace and through dialogue and through education. Then I said I will tell him how important education is, and that I even want education for your children as well. And I will tell him, that's what I want to tell you. Now do what you want, close quote. And when they shot Malala, she said afterwards, after recovery, I don't want revenge on the Taliban. I quote, I want education for sons and daughters of the Taliban, close quote. Malala, as we are here this morning in awe of you and the entire of Trinidad and Tobago, is deeply appreciative of your presence. And I'm sure I speak on behalf of our 250,000 students and 16,000 teachers across throughout Trinidad and Tobago. We are extremely privileged with your presence here, and we welcome you warmly to be with us. I want you to know that in this country, we believe in education for all people. Here in Trinidad and Tobago, we fulfill your dream. No child must be left behind. These are the words of our Prime Minister when she was Minister of Education and now as Prime Minister, the Honorable Kamala Persad-Bissessar. We are, as you can see, a country of every religion, race, and culture. And every child, every girl and boy, regardless of their ethnicity, social class, and religion, are entitled to a free education from preschool to primary school to secondary school to university level, with the support of Minister Karim, who has been doing a tremendous job in the tertiary education and skills training sector. And they get a free education. They also get free books, free laptops, free meals if parents cannot afford, free transportation, etc. Students here are very fortunate, and we bless Almighty for giving them the opportunity to be privileged in our education system. Malala, you once noted that your quest to educate girls, women, and children across the globe is a big struggle. Since around the world there are 57 million children who are not in primary school, 32 million of them girls. And as you dream and campaign for education for all, recognizing at such a young age that education is truly, as Minister Karim said, the passport to life and the path to economic, social, and political prosperity, stability, and development, I wish to tell you that when nations like ours embark on a mission to educate all our citizens and children, it is done in honor of heroes like yourself, who give this world and all people a reason to have faith in humanity on a daily basis. And as I close, may you, in your noble and godly quest, always find the divine protection, the strength, courage, wisdom, compassion, love, and education, which has characterized your great life so far, and mission at such a tender age. And may the world one day be a place where your dream of education for all children, all girls, all women, be ultimately fulfilled. Thank you for your inspiration, and may God eternally bless you and your equally amazing family. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister Gopi Singh. We have another special guest, the father of Malala Yousafzai, Mr. Zia Uddin, UN Special Advisor for Global Education and Education Attaché to the Pakistani Embassy in the United Kingdom, to make a few remarks.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. In the name of God, the most merciful, the most inefficient. I will start from the quote of Khalil Gibran, who says, "Keep me away from the greatness which does not bow before children." Ladies and gentlemen, you know I am known as Malala's father. Once she used to be my daughter, but now I am her father. And you know that in many patriarchal societies, fathers are known by their sons. But me and my wife, Torpeke, who is here, we are very proud that we are one of the few parents who are known by their daughter. It's amazing that we are here today, especially among children, because I have been a teacher for the last 20 years, and I'm proud to be a teacher. And we are here, you see, when the Honorable Senator came to our home, we never met before, but when he entered in our home and he met our family, and the way he communicated his Trinidad and Tobagan love to us, it was so powerful, it was so motivating that usually when we go to some country, we just take a long time to discuss, and there is a fun team, we have a PR. But my daughter said to me that we must go to this country. And we said yes. You may be small in area, but believe me, your heart is very big, full of love. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, in the last 1 year, we have been to many countries. We went to Jordan and we met many children from Syria who are refugees there. And we went to the Zatari camp where some 100,000 people are living, and 60,000 of them are only children. We went to Kenya, and in Kenya, we went to Masai Mara community. And in Kenya, we saw that only primary education is free, and after primary education, if the parents are poor and they are unable to give their children private education, if they can't pay the fee of education, their girls and boys stay at home. And then we also went to Nigeria to mark the birthday of Malala, and we met the parents of the abducted girls, the president, and you know that out of 57 million children, 10.5 million children belong to Nigeria. And then you may know about Pakistan that some 7 million children are out of school. The same is in Afghanistan. The point I want to make is that you are one of the most fortunate nations that your state has made it ensured that every boy and every girl is in school. I think not only your governments, and it can't happen in one day. Rome was not built in a day, we say. I think right from the very beginning, different governments might have worked on it, must have worked on it. That's why you have ensured 100% primary, secondary, and graduation education. So we went to many countries, and there are many educational crises. But here, on this island, we find hope, we find strength, we find courage, and we can give an example to the world after this that yes, it's achievable, yes, it's possible, yes, we can send each and every child to school, and Trinidad and Tobago has achieved this target. Ladies and gentlemen, last month I participated in Belgium in a very big conference, and I was keynote speaker of the global education partnership first conference. And its aim was to tell the developed countries to contribute more to education and to tell the poor countries to spend more on education. And my keynote message was very simple. I told to the developed world, to the global north, that let's spend on education. It's very important. Before the children in the South Globe, in the poor countries, before they pick up guns, let's send them pens and books. And I gave a message to the developing countries, to the poor countries, that this is a stigma being called poor. But if you want to be wealthy and rich, just spend on education and you will be wealthy and rich. Education is wealth. Education is like, as everybody has an immunity against different ailments, education is like an immunity for a country, for a nation. And then the most important thing is quality education. Not only education, but quality education. For me, I think that education, the aim of education and the objective of education, the first one, that it should give you skills, marketable skills, that you can have, that you can earn your sustenance in an honorable way. Number two, education gives you values. Value to be tolerant. Value to respect the otherness of others. Value to respect the caste and creed and color of others. And number four, it makes you to be able to live in the global world. So, this country and all of you, you are an inspiration for the world. You are an inspiration for us. And to be short, you are a hope for the world. And once again, thank you. We are very pleased to be here. We are for the first time here, but hope we will come again. And thanks for everything. God bless you all.
Thank you, Mr. Udin. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I am Alexia Ramjatan. We now invite you to sit back, relax, and enjoy a cultural segment from some of our country's talented young people. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Miss Carrie Sam performing a song entitled You Light Up My Life.
kept deep inside me, alone in the dark. But now you've come along, and you light up my life. You give me hope to carry on. You light up my days and fill my nights with song. Rolling at sea, adrift on the waters. Could it be finally? I'm turning for home. Finally, a chance to say, hey, I love you. Never again to be all alone. And you light up my life. You give me hope to carry on. You light up my days and fill my nights with song. And you light up my life. You give me hope to carry on. You light up my days and fill my nights with song. It can't be wrong when it feels so right. 'Cause you light up my
Thank you, Kerry, for that beautiful performance. I now welcome to the stage the Shiv Shakti dance group with the Harvest Dance.
Specially dedicated to Malala and her family, and of course to all the children of India. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we now welcome the Shiv Shakti.
Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for the Shiv Shakti dance group. What a lovely presentation from the Shiv Shakti Dance Group. At this time, I invite Miss Aaliyah Lewis, who would be performing for us a modern dance entitled Hallelujah.
Heard there was a secret chord that David played and it pleased the Lord. But you don't really care for music, do ya? When it goes like this, the fourth, the fifth, the minor fall and the major lift, the baffled king composing hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Your faith was strong, but you needed proof. You saw her bathing on the roof, her beauty and the moonlight overthrew ya. She tied you to her kitchen chair. She broke your throne and she cut your hair. And from your lips she drew the hallelujah. Hallelujah. Maybe there's a God above, but all I've ever learned from love is how to shoot somebody who outdrew ya. It's not a cry that you hear enough. It's not someone who's seen the light. It's a call and it's a broken
Thank you, Aaliyah. You are truly one of our country's talented children. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I welcome to the stage Miss Jessie Jagnerine performing the song Hero on our country's national instrument. What a wonderful rendition, Jessie. I now invite Miss Megan Cox to the stage with her monologue, Instrument of Purpose.
Instrument of Purpose by Deborah Jean-Baptiste Samuel. Each life is likened to be a musical instrument. Go after every dream 100%. Play your dynamic notes which are God-inspired, detailed to the holy book as required. We can play music, for every life is an instrument, and every instrument makes a sound. If an instrument does not play, come what may, it will rust or grow a crust of dust and sit still in silence. There are all kinds of instruments. Some carry the melody, some only embellish. But if an instrument is not playing, all fall down. We will have a diminished sound. Do not allow depression to keep your instruments down. Be sure to make your sound. If your drum, beat. If a saxophone, play sweet. If a flute, you can produce endless fruit. A flute is an instrument that can echo soothing tones and put vigor back into saddening bones, or perk up souls into joy and merriment. An instrument can have more than one purpose if we allow God to use us. If you happen to be a piano, then you are bound to minister to plenty people, because when God puts his hands on your keys, you will have no other choice but to make music that will definitely please. We all have a place in the orchestra of life, and if used well, it will bring harmony instead of strife. And that strikes the right note. There is music waiting to be played that the master has wrote. So God would like to use us to make us his instrument of purpose. If we are not to be used for his glory, our life will be a cold, sad story. Do you ever notice what happens to an instrument not in use? Put down a guitar for a few months and see. The strings get slack. Try to use it, and it will sound like a shack. Same like a trombone or xylophone not in use. The notes get out of tone. Put it all together into the combined orchestra and see. It will sound like galvanized underwater. Grape, scrape, clatter instead of melodious in nature. We need to recognize that we all have a purpose. Understand that we all have a part to play in the music of life. And every instrument makes a tone of sound or impact. It may be sensational like a steel pan, or dramatic like an organ, or sedate like a cello, or racy like a quattro or banjo. It may be loud like a trumpet in commanding attention, or soft like a triangle in offering direction. Whatever you may be, make sure that you know that God is depending on you to keep in the tempo. He gave us talents and skills. And if we honor his will and allow him to use us more, there will be sweet music being played as never heard before. So set your hearts to him. He is expecting much more from pan, piano, and violin, trumpet, tuba, and mandolin. People, God would really like to use us and make us his instrument of purpose.
Thank you, Megan. Thank you, Megan. Thank you, Megan.
One, two.
Thank you, Megan. And indeed, we are all instruments of purpose. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, please welcome our 2014 Junior Calypso Monarch, Mr. Ronaldo London.
Good morning, everyone. I am so shocked, don't know where to start. It seems like Trinbago, we losing we heart. Clouds of dismay, don't know what to say, no. For we country, it's a dark, dark day. Cause when we nation children, we can't protect them, and it seems a common trend. I ask myself, when would we stop pretend and the rights of our children defend? And while we nation in shock, I have to tell you, stop and think back in your mind. You won't have to go too far to remember this is not the first of these crimes. For Daniel Gerasi, Sean Luke, it's not too late. All the children we lost before Trinbago, we can't afford to lose no more. Emiana Montudo, Akil Chambers also. All the children that was slain Trinbago, we can't lose no more again, no. Whoa, whoa. Whoa, whoa, Trinbago, yeah, my cry, I know. We can't fail with children, so. Oh Lord, no, no. Children supposed to be the joy of the family, but now they are targets cause of hate and jealousy. Mothers and fathers who can't take the strain explode with fraud, so innocent blood flow down the drain. Many too young and not ready for a family, so every day's fist fights. Then comes the baby to parents who angry, so the children they pay the price. And while we children we losing many, it's surprising the senselessness continues. And while some keep praying for God to do something, we children don't know what to do. For Sydney Stallion sake, Nathaniel, it's not too late. All the children we lost before Trinbago, we can't afford to lose no more. The great Jacob Monroe, the Melville brothers also. All the children that was slain Trinbago, we can't lose no more again, no. Whoa, whoa. Whoa, whoa, Trinbago, yeah, my cry, I know. We can't fail with children, so. Oh Lord, no, no. I know it's children who supposed to play games, but when the elders play, the children feeling the strain. Government and politics, and while they playing tricks, we children, they getting the licks. Government and opposition attacking each other, now it's child protection task force. But while the country needs an answer, why we tell so much children we lost, and why parents are heartbroken, their joy has been stolen like a thief in the night. Leaders now thinking that they should be discussing laws to protect children's rights. For Andrew Muller say, cause the Maxine, it's not too late. All the children we lost before Trinbago, we can't afford to lose no more. Shakila Badino, oh, the Katri brothers also. All the children that was slain, Trinbago, we can't lose no more again, no.
Trinbago, hear my cry.
Whoa, whoa.
Hear my cry, Trinbago.
Whoa, whoa, Trinbago, yeah, my cry, I know. We can't fail with children, so. Oh, Lord. No, no. Is it that we don't care? Or that we don't mind? Or have we left our morals behind? The time is now. We cannot wait. 'Cause for many, it's already too late. No more Amy or Kiana from page of the paper to break the nation's heart. So citizens from all over, let's rally together. We all have to play with part. It is our duty, responsibility to see children's needs are met. And while we plan for the future to make it safer, let us all not forget. Shabari and they say, Kiana come but it's not too late. All the children we lost before Trinbago, we can't afford to lose no more. Shakila Badino, oh, Rashida Gomez also. All the children that was slain Trinbago, we can't lose no more again, no. Whoa, whoa. Whoa, whoa, Trinbago, hear my cry, I know. We can't fail with children, so. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. London, for that message. It is indeed always about the children. Ladies and gentlemen, can we please put our hands together for all the performers today? Ladies and gentlemen, we are at an extremely proud moment in our program and indeed in our country's history. It is my honor to introduce our distinguished guest, a true inspiration to us all. She is an education activist and a symbol of peace, known for her advocacy in the pursuit of rights in education for women and children. She has been celebrated and recognized in many ways, including her nominations for the Nobel Peace Prize in 2013 and 2014, and her feature on Time magazine's cover as one of the 100 most influential people in the world. Her insistence on standing up for what she believes is right brought to light the plight of millions of children around the world who are denied an education. In light of all of Ms. Yousafzai's achievements, we are proud to host her during this visit, which is intended to focus on the development of education. Ms. Yousafzai, we are humbled by your visit. We know that it will contribute to the positive development of the young people of this nation and impact on the lives of many students across our country and the region at large. Without further delay, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I wish to present Ms. Malala Yousafzai.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. In the name of God, the most beneficent, the most merciful. First of all, I would like to thank the government of Trinidad and Tobago for providing such a warm welcome and full security and all the other facilities that any traveler would need, but we have got more than that. So thank you so much to the government for their love and for their support. I would like to say thank you to the Senator, the Honorable Senator Fazal Karim, the Minister of Tertiary Education, because he's the one who really came to our home and invited us. And when he invited us, it was not just like saying, come to Trinidad and Tobago, but I could see his love and his support to the campaign which I do, which is for education. So thank you so much once again. I'd like to say thank you to the Honorable Tim Gopi Singh, Minister of Education, as well as to Honorable Prakash Ramada, Minister of Legal Affairs, the Honorable Anil Roberts, Minister of Sports, and the Honorable Stacy, I'll try to pronounce, Roob Narayan. Thank you. Minister, she's the Minister in the Ministry of Works and Infrastructure. So this was like the formal kind of thank you to all of you, but I want to say a big thank you. Thank you so much. Well, if I say thank you to I think it would take a lot of time, but I'll try my best, because there is so much support that I think if I don't say thank you, it would be a bit, it won't be nice. So I'd like to say thank you to media for highlighting the campaign which I do, and for highlighting the demands which I make that every child should be in school. So thank you so much for that. Thank you so much to the University of Trinidad and Tobago, their management and staff. Thank you so much to Nevin especially, because he came and he was there when we were coming, so he has supported us throughout this whole journey. So thank you so much. As well as thank you to National Training Agency, to their staff and management. And many, many thanks to parents, many, many thanks to children who are here, and to all the guests, and to every person here, to every staff. But I would like to say a special thank you to children who showed this incredible talent and their skills, and I was totally amazed by the performances, especially the dances and playing music, using the instruments, and then guiding others how to respect instruments that we use for music, and how it's an important part of our life, and as well as I enjoyed the dance and everything. So thank you so much for such a good welcome. Well, I was introduced quite well, but I would like to share my story so that you know where I come from and how I got this recognition and what I stand for and why I stand for this campaign of girls' education and education for every child. So just like you, I was a girl born in a family which was not very rich economically, but was very rich morally and ethically. I was born into this very nice family where my both mother and father, they respected education, and they believed that a girl should be allowed to go to school. And I consider myself fortunate because I was one of those few girls who got this opportunity to go to school. And I was treated well. I was treated with like the same rights as my brothers. Well, my brother thinks that I am like treated like better than them, but I think no, that's fine. So I was continuing my education, going to school every day, carrying this huge bag with a lot of books and studying, doing homework, doing these things every day, but was not realizing why is it important, but was not realized what change is it going to bring in my life and how it is helping me to contribute to my society. I was not realizing it. But then suddenly circumstances changed, things changed. Swat Valley, where I lived, was once known for its beauty, but suddenly some people came who were the terrorists called the Taliban. And they said that girls' education is not allowed. They said that in Islam, no woman has the right to get education, which is totally wrong. Because in Islam, it is said that it is the duty of every Muslim, whether man or a woman, to get knowledge and to get education. The Taliban were spreading fear and terror with the name of Islam, but actually the word Islam means peace. And Islam means, it gives the message of harmony and patience and tolerance. But they, I think, really did not read the Quran, and they were not really understanding the real meaning of Quran. Because Islam is a religion of peace. And in Islam, women are respected as equally as men. And they have equal rights for women as well. At that time, things were totally different. Swat, where tourists used to come from all over the world, was no more a place like that. More than 400 schools were destroyed at that time. Girls' education was totally banned. I could not go to school for many, many months. I was out of home as well. We remained out of our houses for 3 months because there was a military operation going on and we had to leave our homes. And then we suffered through a very difficult situation. You would hear bomb blasts every night. You would hear firing every night. And you would live in a situation of fear. And we suffered through that. But during that circumstances, I really had two choices. One was to speak. One was to speak and then be killed by the Taliban. Because whoever spoke was killed. And the second option was just to remain silent and just wait to be killed. And I chose the first option. I wanted to speak. I wanted to speak for my rights. I wanted to speak for the rights of every girl to get education. I wanted to see peace. I wanted to see peace. Peace is a word with 5 letters, P-E-A-C-E, but it was so precious, more precious than a diamond. We couldn't find it. And this is what we were seeking for at that time. We were asking for education. We were asking for peace. And for that reason, I, my father, and my other friends, we started campaign. We said that we would not remain silent. We will speak up. We did not know whether our voices would be powerful than the big, big guns and Kalashnikovs and the tanks and the other kind of artillery and guns. We did not know that whether it would be powerful. We did not know whether our voices would bring a change. But with the passage of time, when I wrote diaries for the BBCs, when I appeared in the interviews and the newspapers, and I was raising the voice of myself and the voices of those thousands of children who are out of school, things changed. Our voices did bring change. And in 2009, peace was restored. And after 2 years, we saw that girls were going back to their school. There was no fear. There was no terror. So things changed. And this is how we showed to the world that if you really want to bring change in your community, in your society, in your country, then you have to speak up. You should not wait for someone else. Sometimes we blame the politicians, we blame other people. This is not how things work. You have to stand up and you have to raise your voice. Even though there was peace in Swat, but I realized that there are many students who are not going to school, not because of terrorism, but there are some other issues as well. Issues like child labor, like poverty, like early child forced marriages, and like the cultural taboos that do not respect women's rights. And I realized that I should not stop this campaign. I have to speak up. I have to continue this campaign. And at that time, I was thinking that why not we organize a foundation called the Malala Education Foundation. And I, with my 20 friends, together we were 21, we sat together, we said that what should we do? How can we help our community? And we made objectives of our campaign. How are we going to work for that? And this was how things were going. And I was like living a happy life. And the story is the same like a story in a movie, usually, like the normal story in a movie. There is a good life, Malala happy in Swat Valley, and suddenly things change, things reach to its climax, then there's always a hero, and the villain always loses, the villain always dies at the end, and in our story, the villains did not die, but they like ran away. And after that, happy life was restored. Going back to school, things were changing. I was thinking about how can I contribute to my society, but I was also recognized in my country, and like I got awards and people were appreciating me and they were encouraging me. So I really felt it necessary that I continue the campaign, and the respect that people were giving me was very important to me. And I said that I will continue the campaign for education. But I did not know that the Taliban were still thinking that she is doing this campaign and we need to stop her. Because I thought that if I have survived at that very difficult time, how are they going to kill me now, or how are they going to target me now? And my father was also doing the campaign, and we all were speaking up for women's rights and education. And I was like not that much scared. But things change, things happen, and I was thinking that the Taliban, they would at least respect children and they would take care of children who are like about the age of 14 or 15, but they didn't. And when I was having my exam in the month of October 2012, on that day was my Pakistan studies paper. And when I was going back home, I do not remember the story, but this is what my friends told me because I have forgotten that whole situation. I was going back home, and then these two boys came. They stopped the school van in which I was going home, and I was just 2-3 minutes away from my home. They stopped the car, they stopped the school van. One was talking to the driver, and one came at the back. And the girls were really like surprised, my friends, and no one, like everyone was just looking here and there, like what's happening? And suddenly this boy asked that, who is Malala? And some of the girls looked at me, and then this boy suddenly like took out his gun, and then he fired 2-3 bullets. One bullet hit me right here on my forehead, and then the other 2 bullets hit my other 2 friends who were sitting next to me. I was thinking that I was only 3 minutes away from my home, and I'll go back and I'll see my mother and father. But the journey was so long that it hasn't finished yet. And it has been like 2 years now. I haven't returned to my home. It's my dream to go back to my home, to see my friends, to see my teachers, to see my school. So the journey did not end yet, and I'm hopeful that one day I will be able to go to my home. But now this is my campaign. I will not lose hope. And right on the day when I was shot, and I have already said it, that on that day when I was shot, my weakness, fear, and hopelessness died. Strength, power, and courage was born. And then what encouraged me more was the support of people. When I was in the hospital, I received thousands of good wish cards and letters and teddy bears and shampoos and lotions and dresses, like everything from people. And everyone was taking care of me, and people were thinking like, Malala, you would need a toothbrush as well. You might need a comb. You might need like a nail clipper. So everyone was taking care of me, and everyone was sending me good wishes. So this is how I continue my campaign, because I think that I'm not alone. There are thousands and hundreds and thousands of people who are supporting me. I know my speech is a bit long, but sorry for that, because I really like to convey the message of the importance of education to children here, and I'm very happy that you are giving importance to your schools and you are like getting quality education, but it's important that you know about other countries as well, because there are 10.5 million children in Nigeria who are out of school. There are about 5 to 7 million children in Pakistan who are out of school. It's about like 5 or 6 times your whole population. There are that many children who are out of school in many countries. In Afghanistan, because of terrorism, children are finding difficulties in going to school. And because of child labor, child trafficking, in India, in Pakistan, and in many other countries, children are facing many, many problems. So it's very important that we speak up for them and we tell the responsible people to do something for them. I do advocacy, I speak at different events, I do the campaign, but then work on the ground is also important, that you go and you contribute from your side. So that's why we set up the Malala Fund. And as I already discussed, before I was short, I just like managed this, and we had a group, we had our objectives. But after that, we could not continue it because I was brought to the UK. But when I came here, we started it again. And now through the Malala Fund, we do advocacy and as well as work on the ground. So we did projects in Pakistan by giving scholarships to those girls who are out of school. We did projects in Jordan for the Syrian refugees, for those children who are out of school. And I met amazing children who have so many dreams. Some of them wants to become doctors, some of them wants to become teachers and engineers and journalists, but they have so many difficulties in their life. They don't get school, they don't get like the right books, they don't have the like well-qualified teachers, they don't even have like schools and shelter. There are so many difficulties which they are suffering through, and it's important that we speak up for them. So we did projects in Jordan. We also started some of our projects in Kenya, And I also went to Nigeria on my 17th birthday. I'm quite old now. On my 17th birthday, I wish I could not mention it, but my date of birth is on Wikipedia. That's really sad. I went to Nigeria and I spoke up for those more than 200 girls who were abducted by Boko Haram, which is just like a militant group like the Taliban. And they do not believe in any rights for women, and they do not believe in education for women and for equality. And they are as brutal as like any kind of Satan or any kind of Talib. And when I went there on my birthday, I made a wish that I wish that my sisters, my Nigerian sisters, they return back home, they come to their home safely and they continue their education. And we have started projects there as well for those girls who have escaped from the abduction. And we also support other girls as well who have other problems in getting education because they need security as well. They need other basic facilities like the proper books and chairs and classrooms. So they have the facilities that they can continue their education. These were our projects in Nigeria, and we want to continue it, and we want to do more. I'm also continuing my own education. I'm going to a very good school in the UK, and well, I always say it, I hope my father won't mind. If he does, that's fine. We always talk about equality and like equal rights for girls, for boys sometimes, but my brother, he goes to a mixed school, and I go to a girls' school. So I told my father, like, it's totally discrimination. My brother can go to a mixed school where both girls and boys are there, and you are sending me to girls' school only. But then I said, my school is good. It has like amazing staff and amazing students and teachers, so that's why I'll forgive you. So I'm continuing my education. I hope that I will get quality education, and I'm really interested in politics. I know it's considered a bit kind of bad thing, but politics is the way through which you can help your country. When you become the prime minister, you can bring great changes in your law, in your constitution, you can start many good projects. You can help your people. So I'm hopeful that someone will vote for me and someone will elect me. I wanted to share my story for the reason to tell you that I'm just like you. I'm not a special girl. I have some weaknesses, and I have some good things as well. One of my weaknesses is that I fight with my brothers all the time. And I like cricket. Well, my brother thinks that I can't play it well, but I am good at it. I think so. And I can play badminton, and I'm good in cricket. And yesterday, I met an amazing person whom I could not imagine that I would meet ever in my life. I met Brian Lara. I met Brian Lara, and well, I know you would know his records, like more than 400 runs and remained not out, and like the highest scores ever in cricket. So he is an amazing cricketer, and I love cricket. And yesterday, I learned some very good things from him, even though he was saying it to my brother, but I picked it up. And he was saying that when you start learning, you learn it step by step. If I think that I want to change the world in 2 seconds, it can't really be done if you look at the reality. So we have to do things step by step. If I want to be a good cricket player like Brian Lara, I can't do it in this 1 second. I have to look at my age, how much I have done, practice, and how much I'm able to do. So he said, like, when you are 15, compare yourself to the students who are at the age of 15, compare yourself to the boys and girls who are at the age of 16. So look at your age group and compare yourself to them. Like, don't think like you would be a superstar in 2 seconds or you would be an expert in 2 seconds. And so that's what I learned from him. And other than that, my brother asked him that sometimes when there is like a very serious moment in the cricket field, a ball is coming and the fielder has to catch it. But he said that sometimes I think that if I don't catch the ball, then the people would think like that cricket player is not a good player. So he said, like, I don't really catch the ball and I get scared of it. Brian Lara told him that if you want to be a good cricketer or a good person, you have to prepare yourself for the most dangerous or for the most difficult time in your life. This is how you can improve yourself. This is how you can empower yourself. This is what I learned from him, not in like terms of cricket, but in terms of like my own life. So I should be ready for every difficult time in my life. And this is a message to you as well, to make yourself well prepared and ready and to embrace like the strength within yourselves and to be ready, like how to overcome fear. Be ready for it. Because when I was in Swat, I had fear in my heart, but my courage was so strong that it defeated the fear. So our courage should be stronger than our fear. And this is what I learned from him. So thank you so much to him. Well, I was discussing that none of us, I think, would be perfect. We all have some weaknesses. I have a lot of weaknesses. I have things which like girls don't like or everyone wouldn't like because I'm only 5 feet tall. Is it tall? So, I might not look good. I might not like my hair color. I may not like my nose. I would be like a normal girl. But the thing is that we all have weaknesses. But we should look at the special things we have. We should ignore our weaknesses. If we can overcome that, it would be great. Because I know that we all are special. We have some special qualities. I may not be good in singing, but I might be good as a painter. I may not be good as a doctor, but I may be good as an engineer. So we have to recognize. We have to recognize what skills do we have, what talent do we have. And this is where we learn in school. When we go to school, we discover the skills and the talents within ourselves. So, like, we should all respect each other and respect the good things about ourselves. And we should not be thinking that, oh, that person is better than me, because we all have something special. So, like, be hopeful and never get sad and never lose hope. And I'm hopeful that all of you, as I saw incredible singers and dancers and musicians, I know that you would be great stars for tomorrow, and you would make your nation proud. As my father already discussed, and the Minister of Education also said, in this country you get quality education. It is free from the primary level up to the tertiary and even to the graduate level. And in the postgraduate level, they also like help you in the half of the paying and etc. So you are really lucky that you have free education. And I think this is a great opportunity for you to focus more on your education and to continue it, because we should not forget that there are 57 million children who are out of school and who really need support. So what you have got, you should be thankful for it and you should focus on it. And as well as the young generation, you are the ones who make the country, and you would be the future of this country. You are the future of this country, and you need to start contributing to your society from right now. If you do one good thing, it can give smile to many, many people. But if you do one bad thing, it can make people sad and it can give tears to people. So be good. Be good to your friends. Be good to your neighbors. Be good to the people who you see in your surrounding. Respect them. Try to be kind to them. Just give them a smile, because this is how we are going to live a happy life. If I'm just ignoring a person who is next door to me, who is poor, who needs my support, then I'm also teaching it to my children, to my grandchildren, and they would follow the same way in which I'm treating others. So the thing is that if we want others to be good to us, then we should be good to them. If I want my neighbor to be kind to me, then I should be kind to my neighbor. So treat others the way you want them to treat you. And this is how we are going to make a good society, and this is what we learn in our schools and when we get quality education. So focus on your education and make your country proud, which you are already doing. And I'm hopeful that this country will be a great country, and it is already, and I learned a lot from it, even though, because whenever I go to a country, it's basically for a purpose that in this country, children are out of school, but in this country, about like 99% children are in school. But I'm here to learn. I'm here to learn how education has changed the country and how education has contributed to the progress of this country. So thank you so much once again. And I'll finish with the lines with which I finished my UN speech. That is, one book, one pen, one child, and one teacher can change the world. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we have come to the end of this historic event in the annals of our country. As is customary, we must express our thanks to those who have made this special event a success. First of all, I would like to express my sincerest thanks to Ms. Malala Yousafzai for her words of wisdom and inspiration. You truly are a symbol of strength to children and young women all over the world. To Senator the Honorable Fazal Karim, Minister of Tertiary Education and Skills Training, thank you for encouraging Ms. Yousafzai to come to our country and for providing this opportunity of a lifetime for the children of Trinidad and Tobago to be motivated by Ms. Yousafzai. To Dr. the Honorable Tim Gopi Singh, Minister of Education, our sincere gratitude for your kind efforts in ensuring that so many of us have been given this life-changing opportunity here today. At this time, I would also like to thank the permanent secretaries of the Ministry of Tertiary Education and Skills Training, the Ministry of Education, the Chairman, Board of Directors, and Chief Executive Officers of the Ministry of Tertiary Education and Skills Training, and the University of Trinidad and Tobago for all their support. Additionally, to the staff of the National Training Agency for their hard work in making this event possible, and to the National Training Agency's Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Asif Aman, for his vision that led to this great event, I say a heartfelt thank you. Without your vision and your team's hard work, my fellow students and I would not have been blessed with this wonderful opportunity, and this memorable event would not have been such a great success. Finally, in closing, I wish to extend to all of our generous sponsors our deepest appreciation for their contributions, to the members of the media for live coverage of today's events, to my fellow Masters of Ceremony, our performers, and you, the audience, for making this event possible. To those who I may have inadvertently forgotten, thank you for your support and contribution toward this milestone in our nation's history. I trust that today's experience would have brought about some true change in all our hearts. And so, I leave you, the audience, with one of my favorite quotes from our guest of honor herself. I raise up my voice, not so that I can shout, but so those without a voice can be heard. Children, lift up your voices for those who are voiceless in our nation. Be that voice that will yield positive change, whether it may be within your home, school, community, or nation at large. Once again, thank you all for sharing in this wonderful experience with us.